Alright, what is going on, you competitive Call of Duty fan lovers? That sounded weird. Whatever, I'm gonna roll with it. I don't feel like doing this commentary over again. Anyway, it is your boy the Greek Mama back with part 2 of our Stage 2 playoff preview and analysis. In this video, I'm going to be going over the top 2 teams that I personally think are in this tournament, and then I'm going to go over exactly how I think the bracket is going to play out. So, if you guys are interested, stay tuned, and we're going to get the ball rolling with who I think the second best team in the entire playoffs is, and that's got to go to Optic Gaming. Optic, as many people know, are my favorite competitive team. Actually, let me go on a side note here. The way I got into competitive Call of Duty, watching it of course, I got into an arena match with Scump when I was in a 4-man party with some friends. We weren't really playing like crazy competitively, but we were trying, don't get me wrong, we were trying, and Scump absolutely trashed us. He put us on his YouTube channel, believe it or not. The video is titled Double Wraps in Arena, so go check it out, watch my team get absolutely mollywopped. But it's pretty cool. That's exactly how I got into that's how I got into competitive Call of Duty, and so ever since then I just started watching Scump's YouTube and liked his personality, and then that obviously his YouTube led me to the Call of Duty scene, and then here I am now predicting Call of Duty matches, so I think I've come a long way. But anyway, Optic has placed pretty poorly from their standards. Not from most team standards, but for Optic Gaming standards, they placed pretty poorly in the last 2 events. Excuse me. They had a 4th out of 8th place finish at the Stage 1 playoffs, as well as a 7-8 finish at CW Anaheim. But their qualifying weekend, they did go 6-0, the only team not to drop a series, and they did so in absolute dominating fashion, not losing a single search and destroy, and not losing a single uplink, and I believe they lost 3 hard points, so they lost 3 total maps. So I'm going to put Optic Gaming at number 2, and then obviously Luminosity. They've been probably the best team for a couple months now. They did win the last event, CW Anaheim, and then their qualifying stage was really good, as to be expected. They go 5-1, only dropping 1 series to Fnatic in, I believe, 3-2 fashion. Not much to say about LG, except they're just gods. All 4 of them can go off whenever. You never know who it's going to be. But so those are my top 2 teams, and now let's get right into bracket. So up at the top side, we have FaZe Clan versus Team Envious. I'm gonna go with Team Envious on this one. I know this is an upset pick. I did say that Envy wasn't as good as FaZe, but I do think Envy upsets FaZe here. And then we go to Luminosity Splice on the same side of the bracket. I think Luminosity 3-0 Splice. I really do. I think Luminosity is that much better than Splice. I didn't give you a map count on Envy. I think Envy 3-1s. I think they only lose the Search. I think Luminosity 3-0 Splice. And then going to the bottom side of the bracket, we have E United versus E6. I think E United's going to 3-1 E6 pretty easily. And then I think Optic Gaming 3-0's Fnatic. Alright, so that's going to put us in winners round 2. Winners round 2. So I'm going to have Envy up against Luminosity. I think Luminosity again wins in a 3-0 fashion over Envy. And then we have Optic Gaming versus E United. I think Optic gets a 3-1 there. I think they drop the first hard point, and then they're going to win in the 4th. Let me change that. I think they 3-2. I think they're going to lose both hard points. But I think they win both S&Ds in dominating fashion, and a close uplink wins them the series there. So then we're going to have Luminosity versus Optic Gaming. The best 2 teams in the playoffs, in my opinion, facing in the winners bracket final. So already top 3. I think Luminosity takes it. I think Luminosity takes it 3-1. I think they only lose the Search to Optic Gaming, the best Search team in the world right now. So that would push Luminosity up to the grand finals. Now let me go down back to losers bracket now. So in the first round of losers, we're going to have FaZe Clan match up against Splice. I do think FaZe loses to Splice. FaZe is going to go 0-2 in this tournament, based on my prediction. As long as I have this right, exactly where they would fall if they lost, but I'm pretty sure it stays on the same side of the bracket. So I'm going to have FaZe getting knocked out in the first round of losers. It's a hard thing to say, but I can't see them beating Splice, not at this point. And then we're going to have E6 up against Fnatic. I think Fnatic get 3-0'd easily. Oh, and I think Splice wins in a 3-2 fashion. I think Fnatic gets 3-0'd. I think they're going to go 0-6 this coming weekend. Tough weekend for them if my predictions hold true, but I do think that Fnatic just doesn't have the individual player skill that the other 7 teams have, and that's going to really hurt them. So I'm going to go with Fnatic getting 3-0'd by E6. Alright, so moving back to the top side of the bracket, that's going to give us Splice against Team Envious after Luminosity beats Envious. I think Splice takes that. I think they're going to take that in a 3-2 fashion. I think Envy's going to win both the hard points, but Splice takes the uplink in the searches. And then back to the bottom side of the bracket, we're going to have... Sorry, my bracket keeps getting messed up here. We're going to have E United versus E6. This is going to be an interesting match, to say the least. This could be the spot where E6 upsets a team. But I really don't see it. Not with how E United's been playing. So I'm going to give it to E United in a 3-1. But, mark my words, I will not be surprised if E6 takes that series off of E United. It would not shock me at all. Alright, so back to the top. That's going to give us... Oh no, that wouldn't put us back to the top, would it? Yeah, that would put us to losers bracket finals. So this would be... Or no, excuse me. It wouldn't. We're going to be one before losers bracket final. You're going to have Splice versus E United. I think E United take this. I think they ride this Clayster momentum really far this weekend. And I think they're able to outperform their talent. I don't want to say outperform their talent because they're 4 really talented guys. But they just, I will say, outperform their team chemistry. How about that? I think they outperform their team chemistry and take this off Splice. I think Splice is a little weak right now, so I'm going to go ahead and give it to United 3-2. I'm going to say it's a really close series. The hard points are going to go down to the wire. The uplinks can go down the wire. The searches maybe around 11 here or there. Alright, so now that'll take us to losers bracket final. So right now we have Luminosity waiting in the grand final for the winner of Optic Gaming. Hang on a second. Let me make sure I'm doing this right. So Splice lose to EU. Yeah. Sorry. So winner of Optic Gaming versus E United. So Clayster playing Optic, not on FaZe. It's gonna be weird, I know, but I don't see Optic losing either of the Search and Destroys to them. They're just that dominant in Search and Destroy. I do think it'll be kind of close, but I can't see them losing either of them, and they're probably going to take the uplink. So I'm going to give it to them in a 3... It's either going to be a 3-1 or a 3-2. For the sake of the Call of Duty fan in me, I'm going to say a 3-2, because I want to see Game 5. Preferably Game 5, round 10 or 11. But I will give it to Optic. I'll go 3-2, put it on the record. The Greek Mamba says 3-2 Optic Gaming. So that gives us an Optic Gaming versus Luminosity grand final, with Optic having to win 2 straight series in order to beat Luminosity. Something that is almost unfathomable with how good Luminosity is right now. With their frontline E-Red players, it's going to be really hard for guys like Scump and either Karma or Crim6, whoever's running the E-Red. that series to even go positive. And that's a crazy thing to say when you're talking about Optic, but this year more than any other year since this team's formed, they can't really just rely on heavy slaying, and that is scary at times, but they do still have probably the best teamwork out of any team in the world, as long as they're not worrying about their KD and trying to make dumb hero plays that Scum tries to do a lot. Even though he's my favorite player, I can find things that I don't like about him, and he does try to make a lot of hero plays. So, but then on the backside you have Octane, who is, to me, the only guy who can challenge Formal for the title of best AR in IW. Those two guys are absolutely ridiculous when it comes to assault rifles. They're gonna sit in the back and just absolutely bop you. They're gonna rip your head off with that MV4. I believe it was Dave on Hot Mic one week. Dave, who's the AR, the main MV4 for Epsilon, he's like, there's times where he said he was scared. Let me say this closer to the mic. Dave is scared to challenge Octane in 50-50 gunfights. That's crazy for a professional player to say. There's no higher praise than somebody saying they are afraid to challenge you in a gunfight. I mean, can you show Octane any more respect than that? That just goes to show you how good he is. And for me, he is either IW's MVP or he's the runner-up, depending on how these next two LAN events go. Obviously, the Stage 1 playoffs and COD champs. It's either him or Formal. So these are the two guys. They're the two best players on the two best teams, and I think a lot of the games are going to come down to them, who can trade effectively and who can keep their ERAD players alive, because that series is going to be a bloodbath. But what I think is going to happen is I think Optic Gaming actually take the first series 3-2, and then I think they sort of run out of gas, kind of like what happened against E United the first time. They beat E United, I believe, 3-0, and then they get 3-2'd. I think they're going to 3-2 Luminosity. They definitely won't be 3-0ing them. They're too talented of a team. But I will give Optic the first series in a 3-2. And then I'm actually going to switch it up and say Luminosity takes the second series 3-1. So that would put Luminosity as back-to-back LAN champions, which is nothing to hang your... I mean, that would be incredible, especially with champs, 10 days away after this tournament, to be the back-to-back LAN champions in open events would be, I mean, just absolutely ridiculous. But that is what I'm going to go with. So I have Luminosity winning the whole thing over Optic Gaming in a second best of 5. Let me know what you guys think about my predictions. I know I didn't really predict many upsets, but I think it's, even though there's a lot of great teams, I think the way the bracket's set up, it's kind of clear cut. So let me know what you guys think, the grand final is going to be, who you think is going to take it, what kind of fashion. I look forward to seeing your comments down below, and if you guys want to see more of these kind of videos, just comment that also below, leave a like on the video, and make sure you subscribe, because I definitely do like the competitive Call of Duty scene, and I do like predicting these tournaments for you guys. So I will probably be back with another video after the Season 2 playoffs, just to recap and sort of go over how close my predictions actually were. But if you guys have enjoyed, feel free to leave a like, feel free to subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.